If you're searching for a biological powerhouse capable of putting meat on your table and filling baskets with eggs without demanding fragile care, you need to look back at the pure history of the barnyard. Many breeders waste time and cash chasing exotic varieties that promise extraordinary yields, only to watch them fail during the first frost or drain the farm budget on commercial feed. This is where the New Hampshire chicken enters the picture. Knowing this breed isn't a luxury, it's an absolute requirement for anyone wanting to understand how real dual-purpose efficiency operates in a rugged environment. The American Poultry Association recognizes this bird as an unbeatable standard of vigor and productivity in the American class. Today we'll dissect the anatomy, field behavior, and genetic engine of this animal. You'll understand why seasoned producers prefer it over modern crosses, and how to harness its raw instincts to maximize your land's profitability. Let's begin. The history of the New Hampshire breed serves as a masterclass in natural selection and relentless field pressure. At the dawn of the 20th century, farmers up in the harsh northeast of the United States desperately needed a bird that could pack on size fast and withstand freezing coastal temperatures. They took the famous Rhode Island Red as their foundational base, but completely changed the rules of the game. Instead of focusing solely on egg production, they began selecting individuals that feathered out earlier and gained dense muscle mass in record time. This constant selection pressure over the years provoked a clear genetic split. The Rhode Island Red remained a champion layer with a rectangular body, while the new variant developed a much deeper, wider, and fleshier chassis. In 1935, the American Poultry Association officially recognized the New Hampshire as an independent and distinct breed. This wasn't some passing fad for poultry exhibitions, but the undeniable result of sheer performance at the feed trough and in the nesting box. The association established a strict standard to protect the unique traits of this animal, defining it as a medium to large bird engineered to offer tender meat in just a few months alongside premium-grade brown eggs. This recognition cemented its permanent place in the early poultry industry. It's an animal forged by the raw necessity of homestead survival, stripped of useless ornamental features. The plumage of the New Hampshire is a visual spectacle of thermal adaptation. It features a brilliant chestnut red, far lighter and more golden than the dark mahogany of its Rhode Island Red cousin. Female neck feathers display a luminous golden tone, while mature males exhibit a dazzling copper-red mantle shining under the sun. The tail feathers carry black tints, creating a sharp contrast. This lighter coloration serves a highly practical purpose in the meat processing stage. When plucking the bird, the light-colored pin feathers leave behind a clean, pristine carcass that looks incredibly attractive to the final consumer. Biology always favors functional utility. Analyzing the bone structure reveals a wide, deep chassis design. The breast is round and prominent, supported by a long keel bone providing the perfect anchor point for massive muscle groups. The back is of medium length, forming a smooth concave curve down to the base of the tail. Unlike the light Mediterranean breeds that look like aerodynamic arrows, the New Hampshire has the appearance of a compact block of pure muscle and bone. Males reach impressive weights of up to 8.5 pounds, while females hover around 6.5 pounds. It's pure, profitable, and highly functional mass. The head of this breed screams vitality from every angle. It possesses a single comb with a fine texture and a bright red color, standing firm with 5 well-defined points. This intense red across the comb, wattles, and earlobes acts as a health traffic light in the yard. Pale colors warn you immediately about internal parasite loads or nutritional deficiencies. The eyes are large, prominent, and burn with a fiery reddish-bay hue. That alert gaze acts as a biological radar, allowing them to scan the ground for insects and watch the sky to detect incoming predators. They're high-precision sensors working all day long to keep the flock safe. Its robust yellow legs complete the breed's utilitarian design. It features thick, muscular thighs, perfectly ideal for providing top-tier cuts of dark meat. The shanks are completely free of feathers, showing off that intense yellow tone that meat producers prefer due to its traditional association with nutrient-rich skin and high intramuscular fat. 4 well-separated toes guarantee traction over wet, muddy, or uneven terrain. These strong lower limbs are absolutely essential for a bird that spends most of its day aggressively scratching the earth, breaking apart dirt clods, and unearthing its own extra feed to reduce the feed mill bill. One of the greatest advantages of the New Hampshire lies in its blistering speed of development. The fast feathering gene is a foundational characteristic of this breed. While other heritage lines spend weeks wrapped in thin, vulnerable down that leaves them exposed to cold drafts, the New Hampshire chicks develop their primary and secondary feathers at a staggering rate. They waste less energy generating body heat, investing those extra calories directly into creating muscle and bone structure. For the homestead producer, this translates to getting the birds out of the brooder much sooner. cutting down the heavy cost of electricity or gas for heating and minimizing early losses from thermal stress. This accelerated metabolism also drives early sexual maturity. The New Hampshire pullets frequently begin laying several weeks before other heavy farm-style breeds even show signs of redness. Initiating the laying cycle early is a crucial factor for the return on investment in any farm setup. They start producing small eggs, increasing in size quickly until stabilizing at premium-grade eggs with dark brown shells. A healthy hen from this lineage can deliver well over 200 eggs in her first year alone. That entire precocious production cycle is sustained by a voracious appetite and a digestive system capable of converting rough forage into high-quality protein without slowing down. Watching a group of New Hampshire hens roaming the pasture is like watching a biological cleanup crew in full action. They possess an exceptional foraging instinct. They don't wait around for the breeder to serve 100% of their nutritional needs on a silver platter. They go out to hunt grasshoppers, beetles, fallen seeds, and tender green shoots. Their beaks are strong and curved, built to tear apart plant matter and crush the tough exoskeletons of insects with zero effort. Every bug they consume in the field represents a direct saving in commercial feed costs. Their sheer capacity to exploit rugged terrain makes them one of the ultimate choices for rotational grazing systems. The temperament of the New Hampshire requires deep understanding and firm handling. They're vigorous, highly active birds with a very strong personality. They're never timid or easily spooked. When you introduce a new food source into the yard, they'll always be the first ones to investigate. This bold character helps them survive in open-air environments, but it also means they can become quite dominant when mixed with more docile breeds. The pecking order inside a flock of this breed is established rapidly and physically. The highest-ranking females will control all access to the best nesting boxes and feeders. It's a natural behavior that ensures the survival of the strongest genes within the flock. The males serve as formidable bodyguards for their flock. A New Hampshire rooster imposes order through his sheer size, not through intimidation. He possesses a heightened defense instinct against minor ground threats and will alert the females using specific guttural sounds the second he detects aerial danger. However, this same vigor makes them aggressive toward the breeder if respect isn't established early. You must never back down from a young rooster attempting to test his strength against you. The real key to success with these males involves confident, calm, and routine handling, always marking exactly who dominates the territory without ever needing to resort to violence inside the pen. To fully grasp the immense value of this breed, you must clearly understand the exact difference compared to its direct ancestor, the Rhode Island Red. Beginners often confuse the two birds, but biology doesn't lie. The Rhode Island carries a dark mahogany red that looks almost black near the base of the feathers, while the New Hampshire shines bright like brand new copper. On a structural level, the Rhode Island resembles a long, rectangular brick, perfectly optimized to house a continuous, high-yield reproductive tract. In stark contrast, the New Hampshire possesses an inverted triangle design, packing all of its weight and dense muscularity straight into the breast and the thighs. This architecture completely alters the final result on the dining table. The meat of the New Hampshire features a softer texture and accumulates fat in a very different manner under the skin. While other laying hens offer bony, depleted carcasses after their productive cycle concludes, an older New Hampshire hen still offers a substantial amount of dense meat for a highly nutritious broth or a heavy winter stew. That extra body weight also serves as a critical energy reserve during harsh winter months. Its compact body retains heat with massive efficiency, allowing the flock to continue eating and producing even when the thermometers drop way below freezing. Cold weather adaptation is a built-in feature of their field genetics. The explosive early growth of these chicks demands superior skeletal support at every single stage. Right from the first week, the calcium and phosphorus requirements of this breed exceed those of the lighter lines available on the market. The long bones of the legs must calcify at maximum speed to safely carry the emerging muscle mass. A single mistake in early nutrition results in permanent bone deformities. Providing a high-quality starter ration with the exact amount of highly digestible protein guarantees this biological engine turns over without failure. Seasoned breeders observe the thickness of the shank during the first 6 weeks as a direct indicator of adult productive potential. A thick, well-formed bone ensures a long-lived, rugged bird ready to endure years of hard work. The biological engine driving this breed's accelerated growth hides deep inside its digestive tract. A New Hampshire hen doesn't just eat, she processes raw feed with superior thermal efficiency. Her gizzard acts as a high-pressure biological mill crushing grains and fibrous plant matter that fragile birds excrete entirely. This trait reduces your dependence on processed commercial crumble. If you manage a rotational grazing setup, you notice immediately how these birds extract every available calorie from tough pasture. Feed conversion in this genetic line acts as a massive competitive advantage. They transform grass and insects into dense muscle protein and jumbo eggs without draining your grain silos. Grasping this supreme field efficiency requires observing the volumetric capacity of their crop and the gut flora they develop from their first days on the dirt. Raised on a deep litter system, these chicks acquire a bulletproof microbiome. The living bacteria inside their intestines ferment pasture cellulose, unlocking nutrients that fuel rapid muscle formation. We are looking at a digestion protocol optimized by decades of raw breeding under austere conditions. You don't need complex feed formulas to make them pack on size. They just require access to good dirt, sunshine, and a solid, age-appropriate ration to thrive. All this internal machinery receives backup from an immune system forged in the relentless mud and ice of the Northeast climate. Disease resistance in the New Hampshire stands as a living legend among old-school farmers. While modern production lines succumb fast to minor drops in temperature or spikes in humidity, this breed keeps its natural defenses running high. Their structural anatomy and the extreme density of their protective plumage stop freezing winds from causing thermal stress, preventing the immune drops that routinely open the door for winter respiratory outbreaks. These are rugged animals engineered to survive and thrive when conditions turn brutal. That genetic hardiness translates directly to a lower need for outside interventions. They show a high natural tolerance to heavy parasite loads, provided they have enough space to roam. Early exposure to soil microbes allows them to build ironclad immunity to coccidia outbreaks without stalling their upward growth curve. Their livers and spleens function as heavy-duty biological filters, processing field pathogens with an efficiency that stuns breeders of fragile birds. This baseline health guarantees your investment of time and money doesn't vanish during the first wet spring outbreak. You get a flock that fights off environmental challenges autonomously. When you decide to integrate these birds into a mixed yard, you must read their body language. Coexisting with other breeds demands close attention to population density. New Hampshire hens possess extreme natural self-confidence. As they walk the pasture, they display an upright posture and firm, deliberate steps. They aren't nervous birds taking flight at the slightest noise. This bold attitude positions them fast at the very top of the local hierarchy. Mixed with skittish Mediterranean types, they assume total control of the prime feeders and highest roosting bars. To prevent clashes, you must guarantee wide feeder space. The pecking order acts as an unbreakable law in avian biology. Dominant females keep younger individuals in check through quick, precise pecks. This isn't malice, it's natural preservation in action. They guarantee the strongest genes get first access to vital resources. If you observe the daily dynamics, you see this structure brings absolute peace to the yard once established. The key involves introducing them in groups, never as solitary targets, and providing visual distractions across the grazing area to dilute aggressive territorial control. A well-managed flock respects the hierarchy, channeling all their excess energy into intense foraging. Moving beyond social order, autonomous reproduction stands as a common goal on independent farms. If you seek a constant natural incubator, the New Hampshire doesn't fit the primary candidate profile. Its maternal instinct registers as low to moderate due to genetics geared toward uninterrupted egg production. Even so, unlike Leghorn lines where this instinct was eradicated, the New Hampshire retains a latent capacity to go broody. On the rare occasions this awakens, a powerful hormonal shift driven by prolactin alters her behavior. The hen halts egg production, plucks breast feathers to create a bare patch, and glues herself to the nest. Getting one of these hens to go broody feels like a lucky event, and when it happens, you possess a biological incubator needing zero electricity. Even though they aren't frequent incubators, the females that develop the instinct turn into dedicated and fierce mothers. If you attempt to move her, she confronts you with puffed feathers and a deep growl. This maternal aggression shields the embryos from hungry predators. A white adult female covers several eggs with ease, maintaining the exact temperature required for cellular development. Her body knows by pure instinct when to rotate each egg flawlessly. Once those eggs hatch, the New Hampshire hen proves to be a solid guide in the open field. She leads her chicks outside, aggressively scratching the dirt to reveal hidden seeds and nutrient-dense insects. She teaches them the raw language of survival, emitting short clucks to call them for food, and sharp alerts forcing them to hide under her wings if a hawk crosses the sky. Although this isn't a breed you can rely on for natural and systematic breeding year after year, when they do become mothers, this wild rearing process produces strong, hyper-alert chicks perfectly adapted to the environment. But the greatest genetic treasure of this entire breed resides deep inside its chromosomal code. The New Hampshire carries the gold gene. In elite poultry breeding, base plumage color is linked directly to the sex chromosome. This specific structural detail turns your roosters into tools of maximum utility through precision autosexing. When you cross a pure New Hampshire foundation rooster with hens carrying the silver gene, like a Delaware or a light Sussex, you witness the absolute magic of sex-linked inheritance. The resulting offspring reveal their gender the second they break out of the shell. You bypass the guesswork completely. The mechanics of this field cross operate with brutal directness and never fail. Avian females possess an unequal chromosomal pair, while males carry a matching pair. Through this specific cross, female chicks inherit the dominant color from their father, and male chicks express the dominant silver trait inherited from their mother. The visual result in the incubator tray presents undeniable proof. Every single male chick hatches out covered in light yellow down, broadcasting his silver genetics. Every single female chick emerges with a distinct reddish down, confirming her gold inheritance remains intact. You don't need to hire a professional sexer. This massive genetic advantage saves serious money on a farm-wide scale. You separate the males from day one, pushing them toward a fast-growth, high-protein diet, while you raise the females on specialized rations focused entirely on future reproductive development. You completely eliminate the wasted feed cost of raising straight-run birds for weeks without knowing their true sex. You walk away with hybrid-laying hens boasting extreme hybrid vigor, incredible disease resistance, and massive production rates, right alongside meaty males ready to fill your freezer reserves in record time. This strategy gives you absolute control over your cycle. The males destined for the dining table showcase the full muscular potential of this classic line. Their feed conversion rate accelerates aggressively during the first 10 weeks of life. The widening of the breast becomes evident almost immediately, supported by a dense bone structure that carries the rapid weight gain without suffering joint issues. Unlike modern commercial broilers, which are biologically fragile and prone to metabolic failure, the New Hampshire male maintains his raw vitality intact until harvest day. He can run, jump, and forage across rough pasture without his skeleton collapsing under the sheer weight of his mass. When processing day arrives, the exterior anatomy of this bird streamlines the producer's workload. Their thick skin acts as a protective barrier, retaining the animal's natural juices during the roasting process. The fat distribution differs vastly from other heritage lines. It features a distinct yellow fat layer just beneath the skin, packed with intramuscular fat streaks that inject a deep flavor into the dark meat. The breasts offer a firm portion with unbeatable texture. The thighs grow massive, loaded with rich myoglobin built up by constant daily work in the open air. This is pure pasture-raised protein. The life cycle of these birds also guarantees high returns over a very long timeline. A standard commercial layer depletes her calcium reserves and crashes hard during her second laying season. The New Hampshire, thanks to her vigorous chassis, maintains a sustained and highly profitable production run for 3 or 4 solid years. When their laying cycles finally drop off, their value doesn't vanish from the farm. The older hens bring heavy, dense weight to the processing scale. Their meat, exceptionally rich in natural collagen, serves as the ultimate base for thick broths and heavy winter stews. Walking among an active flock of this breed means witnessing the biological result of utilitarian selection pushed to the absolute limit. You have at your disposal a solid bird that matures fast, grows a protective plumage shield before the frost hits, converts crawling pasture insects into clean protein, and can even reproduce on its own if the need arises. They operate as rustic field machines requiring 0 climate-controlled barns. They pump out large, premium brown eggs and top-tier meat with the same relentless intensity. Understanding the architectural design of their genetics allows you to optimize your land with ruthless efficiency. Keep precise, meticulous records tracking body weight and hatch rates if you decide to breed them yourself. Always select the specific birds showing the widest chests and the most vibrant feather coloration at an early age for your upcoming breeding season. Ruthlessly cull any individual displaying chronic skittish behavior or slow feathering during those critical first weeks. By applying this constant selection pressure on your own land, you honor the living history of the breed and ensure your specific bloodline grows stronger with each successive generation. Mastering your land depends entirely on the biological tools you choose. The New Hampshire isn't just a common backyard bird. It's an undeniable investment for securing top-tier protein. True efficiency is born from raw resistance, field vigor, and genetics engineered to conquer extreme climates without bleeding your resources dry. Let me know down in the comments. Do you prefer the New Hampshire for its heavy meat or its consistent egg production? If this breakdown brought you value, hit that subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up. It helps us keep bringing you practical homesteading advice. To your success, fellow breeder. Until next time.